On this 12th Sunday of the NFL season, there's an awful lot going on. While the Eagles and Raiders continue to battle to a standoff at the vet, the Falcons are winning again. They're beating the Bears, and everything is topsy-turvy in the AFC Central because the Browns are beating the Bengals while the Oilers and the Steelers are being upset. We'll get to the scores and the highlights of Sunday number 12 right after this time out for these messages from your local station.
It's 30 years of TV comedy hits.
Very interesting.
A look back at TV's funniest moments and the stars who kept us laughing. Tuesday. Wednesday on Real People, Sarah Spence.
Starting this day, the AFC Central had some big games on tap with the Browns going against the Bengals and the Steelers and the Oilers in very tough ball games, and we are now underway. On this Sunday, number 12, the NFL season, we'll try to get you caught up on just what has happened around the league. Out in Philadelphia, Veterans Stadium, best record in the AFC, at least a tie for that, belongs to the Oakland Raiders. Best record in the NFC belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. They are scoreless at halftime, and there is an awful lot of hitting going on at Veterans Stadium. Jim Plunkett, 6-game winning streak on the line for the Raiders, 7-game winning streak on the line for the Eagles. Hits Raymond Chester, looks like they're going to score, but Jerry Robinson comes away with a fumble, and just like that, Philly has turned back that scoring opportunity. Plunkett looked like he had a touchdown pass here, but an excellent play by Roynell Young right there, slaps the ball away. That ball game still scoreless at the half. Big ball game taking place in Buffalo, too, at Rich Stadium. Steelers against the Bills. Steelers scored first. Joe Ferguson picked off by Robin Cole. He goes 34 yards down the sideline. Brought down at the 3. 2 plays later, Franco Harris finds some running room. Just like that, he takes it in. Touchdown, 75th of the career for Franco. Puts the Steelers in front 7-0. Then Joe Ferguson went to work. 29-yard touchdown pass right here to Jerry Butler. Super catch in the end zone over Blunt. Worked so well, Ferguson went to it again, this time from 10 yards out. Touchdown again, moved them into a 14-7 lead before the half ended. Steelers got a field goal, and so it is 14-10 at the half. New England out in front of Baltimore. Patriots trying to get back on the winning track after losing their last 2 and 3 of their last 4. They're out in front of the Colts at halftime by a score of 10-0. Colts with a road record of 5-1, best road team in the NFL. Matt Cavanaugh got the start today over Steve Grogan. He directed the Patriots to their first touchdown. Don Calhoun going in from a yard out. Just like that, Patriots in front 7-0. They got a field goal from John Smith at the intermission. They're out in front by a score of 10-0.
Precipitation thus far. No scoring either, as the Eagles and Raiders all defense. And as you look elsewhere in the NFL today, with the Oilers being upset by the Jets, Pittsburgh losing at the moment to Buffalo, and Cleveland winning, that certainly will tie a knot tighter in that central division of the AFC. Buffalo winning, and New England trying to dismiss Baltimore in a very important game for the Colts. And in the West, Oakland, as you see Ron Jaworski warm up, looking for a victory that would keep them out of a first-place tie with San Diego, the Chargers winning earlier Thursday night at Miami. Philadelphia, meanwhile, realizing the tough part of its schedule is ahead, needs to continue its winning ways. They've won 7 in a row. They still have to play San Diego away next week. They still have a game at Dallas. And, of course, the Cowboys are salivating at the opportunity of getting a rematch with this Philadelphia team.
They also have to play the St. Louis Cardinals, and they are the only team to beat the Philadelphia Eagles so far this season. Interesting, too, Dick, that the Eagles' record, their opponent's record so far through these 11 games, was 37-62. Their remaining 5 opponents, including the Oakland Raiders, are 34-21. So you are right. The toughest part of their schedule is ahead of them. This is where these young guys are going to be proven champions or not.
That's right. In fact, just to run it down, Philadelphia has to play at San Diego, and then they have Atlanta, St. Louis, and Dallas. So no resting spots in that schedule. Raiders take the field first. Dick Vermeil with a final word to his Eagles. We want to mention those pictures we showed you of 1957 of Vermeil and Flores as college quarterback opponents. Dave Payne of the San Jose Mercury brought an old program to the park and was kind enough to let us use that. And Dave, a most interesting article. I know you in the Bay Area read it in the Mercury, San Jose Mercury this morning on that man, Dick Vermeil. There's the Eagles schedule, and that's a rough hole. Jim Plunkett getting ready as the Raiders will have the ball first in this second half. First time we've seen barefooted Tony Franklin as he tees it up. Ira Matthews, Arthur Whittington are deep for the Oakland Raiders. There's the Raider remaining schedule. They have an easier way to the playoffs than do the San Diego Chargers. Franklin fairly short. Matthews at the 12. 22 star of the special teams. Sport Magazine with a feature on the Eagles special teams unit. There's Jamona, and also the statistics of the first half, Bob.
Look at the yards rushing and total yards for the Eagles and the Oakland Raiders. Time of possession, very, very close. The turnovers have really gone in the Eagles' favor. And that missed field goal, it's been a defensive struggle. Time of possession. You failed to mention that Jamona is Dick Vermeil's nephew.
Right, Dick's sister's son. In fact, Louis, the name after Dick Vermeil's father.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Something else about Louis Jamona you may not know. We'll tell you after this play. Jim Plunkett sets up shop at the Oakland 22. Gives to Van Egan. Plowing across the 25-yard line. Jamona, apparently, it's from the article in Sport Magazine, Ron Jaworski earlier this year was coming out of the tunnel to go to the field before the game, and Jamona had his helmet off and was pounding his head against the concrete wall in the tunnel. And Jaworski said, "What in the world are you doing, Louis?" He said, "Hey, I like to have stars in my eyes before I go out to play."
Oh,
that's a special teams guy.
That gives us a very, very bad name. Ex-football players.
Second down and 4. Humphrey has come out. Harrison is in. No, Humphrey's still in there. And here goes Kenny King. He can't outrun Jerry Robinson. Robinson at 6'2" and 218 and 9.9 speed for a linebacker.
And, Dick, we must go back to our key that we began the football game with, and that was with Art Shell at left tackle. If he's off the line of scrimmage, it appears that the Raiders are going to throw the ball or run a draw. And we must mention that the Philadelphia Eagles, with 6 sacks so far in the first half, it may be a key in this football game. Now, Tom Flores may also know about that and get Art Shell back up on the line of scrimmage. We'll have to see if the key still holds in the second half.
Shell lining up right on the line of scrimmage. 3rd and a yard. Van Egan running behind Upshaw and Shell, and a flag goes down. The man farthest from the play. One of the judges deep on the near sidelines has tossed a flag.
And he is the man that's watching the tight end. I'm not sure who he might have caught. Personal foul. Shot block.
Against the Raiders. Now that'll cost them what appears to be a first down. Tom Flores. Very little animation from the first quarterback of the Raiders, 1960 through 1966.
He's talking to Raymond Chester, and that side judge's responsibility is to watch the tight end. It may be on number 88, Raymond Chester of the Oakland Raiders.
Kenny King, 33, buckles the strap, and he'll be coming back in as Tunney marks off a big one. That's a 15, not a 10-yard penalty.
Personal foul, crackback block, still 3rd down.
I didn't tell us who.
Well, as a former tight end, you can appreciate that rule, can you not, in both regards?
Yes, I can, and I do think the tight ends have used that chop block an awful lot, especially in the 10 years that I played, and I was a guilty party myself. It's good for professional football to outlaw that block completely.
You catch a man on a blind side, even though he's on the line of scrimmage, you have a running start, you can really put him away for his career. Now it's 3rd down and 15. Got the first down. He's all the way to the 28-yard line. So with that 15-yard penalty, Oakland went from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 16, and Van Egan gets 12, but now it's 4th down.
And I do think, as I remember, that's only the first draw that Oakland has run all day, and with the pass rush they're getting from Philadelphia, obviously an adjustment made at halftime by Tom Flores and his staff.
The Eagles with those 6 sacks and great pressure on Plunkett, especially in the second quarter. And Tom Flores undoubtedly going to a change in strategy. John Shara stands at the 30. Raymond Guy to kick. Guy averaged 42 yards a punt on 3 kicks in the first half. Almost over his head again, and he hits a wobbler. Shara doesn't call for a fair catch and gets away with it. 40, 50. He's all the way to the 44-yard line. Otis McKinney made the tackle, and he has not gotten up. It appeared that Shar, as he caught the ball, did not have a good grip on it, but the Raider first man ran right by him.
One of the most selfish players there is in the game. He'll play any spot, and that may be the break the Eagles need, Dick.
The Eagles are in Oakland territory with a timeout. Shar with that 20-yard punt return. He was the quarterback for Dick Vermeil when Vermeil's UCLA team won that Rose Bowl game that set Vermeil on his way to the pro ranks. First down at the 44 of Oakland. The give to Leroy Harris. He gets a yard or two. Dave Browning, who has been outstanding, number 73, and Matt Millen, 55, made the tackle.
Dick, I'm rather surprised at that call. Leroy Harris has had a pulled hamstring for most of the season, and the Eagles are trying to avoid that second down, third down, long yardage situation, and yet they run the ball in just a straight dive on their first possession here in the second half.
Bob, maybe it's just a break away from tendencies, because on the Eagles' 7 possessions in the first half, on first down 5 times Montgomery ran, so maybe they felt Oakland would be king on him.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you give it to a running back who averages for his career about 4.9 yards a carry as opposed to a guy who averages 3?
Well, he got just 2, so it's 2nd and 8. Swinging out, Montgomery gets a handful of Ted Hendricks, and it's an incomplete pass. The ball being juggled, and Montgomery, I don't know whether that was a whole mental reaction. If it was a very bright play, because he was going to lose 5 if he didn't drop it.
And the ever-present Ted Hendricks, as you look at a score there.
17-7, New England has scored again. 23-yard, no, that's Baltimore's first score, excuse me, after a 17-0 lead. Joe Washington on a 23-yard pass gets the Colts on the board.
Through this point in the football game, Philadelphia's offense leaves a lot to be desired. And I know they're going against a good defense, but they have established nothing so far in this football game.
It's 3rd down and 8. Carmichael split right, wide right is Rodney Parker. Charlie Smith is split left. Jaworski, incomplete, intended for Parker. And it was well covered, and boy, when you throw in the area of Lester Hayes, you're asking for trouble. Matuzak was right on Jaworski.
Somebody made a mistake somewhere. That was thrown behind him. That was a poorly thrown pass, and I don't want to point the finger at Mr. Jaworski.
There is the Eagles scouting booth above, calling down the plays, and the man on the far right is Sid Gilman. I guess when you talk about Gilman with the Eagle players, they say genius, an offensive genius. Coach with Philadelphia. The punt by Runniger, well covered by Robinson. In fact, Robinson could have caught the ball had he wanted to. It went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. An excellent kick.
Field position now in the favor of the Eagles.
Well, still no score. 3rd quarter, 4 minutes play. Coach of the Los Angeles Rams, coach of the Chargers. He's been in this league a long time. University of Cincinnati was his college team. They said no one knows the passing game any better.
Once again, we come back to our key, Art Shell. See if we can pick up what they might do on first down. That's a run.
And it is to King. King out across the 10 and whipped hard by Jerry Robinson, 56. Robinson is fast and also tough at 218.
Last year, he played inside, didn't he, when Bill Berge got hurt?
Right. He did, and loved it in there. He said, I got more action. It's like playing first base in baseball. The ball was always coming to you.
It takes a lot of guts at 218 pounds to get in there with those big heavyweights.
They retired his uniform at UCLA. He wore number 84 as a collegian. And watch out, he wants to be a sportscaster. If he moves as well in the booth as he does down there, we may be in trouble.
Yes, sir. That looks like another run for Oakland.
Through the hands of Chester, well covered by veteran Bill Berge. Plunkett did a good job of just escaping the rush.
And it's the first time we've called Bill Berge's name today. A big part of, he is the inspirational leader, I believe, of that Philadelphia defense. Underwent major knee reconstruction last season, and everybody's rather surprised that he's back playing and playing very well.
Lives in Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, the home of the famous painting family, the artists, the Wyeths, Andrew and Jamie. I'd like him to invite me over to his place just to maybe wander down the road and meet his neighbors. Outstanding contribution they've made artistically to in our society. King and Van Egan split behind Plunkett on 3rd and a long 7. They run. And a tough run indeed by Kenny King, close to a first down before Reggie Wilkes, 51, could make the tackle. Hit short of the first down.
You see where the real game is won. It's simple to win a football game. You control the line of scrimmage. King protecting the football. And a slippery little running back. But as you said, Dick, Wilkes on the tackle keeps him from getting a first down. And once again, Philadelphia, not great field position, but decent field position.
Depending on the foot of Guy, he can sometimes bury you deep.
Yes,
Sharazad is 39. Guy has had a few high snaps today. He's had to go up twice to pick him off the tree. That's on the money. And he hammers it. Shara to his 32. 40. 47-yard line before Derek Ramsey, 84, and 46 Todd Christensen can make the tackle. A 50-yard punt, 15-yard return. Still no score in Philadelphia.
Does the pump loom large in your life?
Thanksgiving Day as Jim Zorn, Steve Largent, and the high-flying Seattle Seahawks take on Danny White, Preston Pearson, and the hard-charging Dallas Cowboys. Get that down-home feeling with Turkey and Texas football. Thursday, November 27th on NBC.
No score in Philadelphia. Third quarter elsewhere. Cleveland now moves in front of Cincinnati 21-7 in the third quarter. Kansas City trails St. Louis 10-0 second quarter. We'll have all the scores and highlights. NFL report following the game. We'll have more scores for you in a moment. First down, the Eagles at their own 47 after the 50-yard punt. Jaworski to Montgomery. What a cut. And he's to the 47-yard line. Boy, you talk about setting up the defense wide and cutting back inside. Montgomery executed beautifully.
Great block also by Leroy Harris on the strong safety who was coming in there to try to support Yassim. 36. Mike Davis is trying to and Harris on the block, and Wilbert Montgomery up through there.
Stumbling forward to the 40, almost the 46-yard line. We're at second down and 3. The Eagles have not had a first down since the first quarter. Harris may have one now as he's to the 30, close to the 38. Now they're going to mark it a little short, so it'll be third down and less than a yard.
Did you say the Eagles haven't had a first down since the first quarter?
Not since the first quarter.
Wow.
There's the total in the game. Oakland hasn't done that much better itself. Just a couple since the first quarter. And we're now 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third period.
And I don't think they have a first down here either. It's going to be third down and very, very short.
One thing about the Eagles, in a situation like this, Dick Vermeil has often gone to play action and go for the touchdown.
I think, though, at this point in the ball game, he's got to think about that first down to establish something, some consistency in his offense. They have not had a long drive yet today, and that's characteristic of the Philadelphia offense.
Coach of the Year, and more significantly, voted that honor by the other coaches in the National Football League. Leroy Harris on second effort. First down at the 40.
Great job.
Browning and Osteen finally secured the tackle.
And right behind Stan Walters, an all-pro offensive tackle, number 75 of the Eagles, and Petey Farrow. You see him standing up Reggie Kinlaw in the middle, and Harris hits that center right in the back. But it's a first down, and that's their first down since the first quarter.
That much seemed like eons ago for the Eagles, who are looking for their 8th consecutive win today. Best record in football coming in. Jaworski, less than a third of his passes have been complete. Look who got it on the first bounce. Lester Hayes. Had that been deflected a little higher, Lester the molester, they called him at Texas A&M, was on his way.
John Matuszak was right in Jaworski's face, too. You'll see him on Jerry Sizemore. Kind of a slip block. He's got to get out there in a hurry trying to get Hendricks. It was overthrown.
There's an interesting statistic for the Eagles. Only 4 first-round draft picks, Sizemore being one of them. Most teams have 2 or 3 times that many. So Dick Vermeil has built a winning ball club here without the benefit of a draft until just the last year or two. By contrast, the Raiders have 10 first-round picks. 2nd and 10. Screen to Spagnuolo. 40, 35, and Matuzak tracks him down just inside the Oakland 34. Big twos. He can still move.
Yes, an unusual screen pass, too, to the tight end.
There's the Raider lineup. There's 20 of their 45 players picked in the first 2 rounds. So you just figure to get your quality that way. I mean, that's the story of almost every franchise. The Eagles have done it with a lot of other things. And Vermeil comes up, well, I won't have a player, I don't care what round, unless he has character and dedication. You're on the train otherwise.
To add something to that, the Eagles had a first-round draft choice in 1973. They had 2, and they didn't have another first-round draft choice until 1979, Jerry Robinson.
The Bears have taken the lead at Atlanta. Vince Evans on a scramble for a run. Touchdown. Oh, Montgomery right into the arms of Dave Browning and Cedric Hardman. Hendricks was there too.
Excuse me, Dick, but if you've got confidence in your defense, right now is the time if you're going to have a fake field goal, pull it out of the bag.
Here comes Franklin, and he's going to try a long one if he tries one. Now, let's see where they set this up. The line of scrimmage is the 34. That would make it at least the 41 or a 51-yard try. Could be 8 yards back, 52. Franklin, as you know, has the second longest field goal in NFL history, 59. Last year as a rookie against Dallas. Tom Dempsey, 63, the record. This would be 51, well within his range. High enough, long enough, good! Oh.
In New York at Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough, a couple of second-half scores. 10-0 at the half. First play to third quarter. Rod Schote returns an interception 42 yards. Give the Patriots a 17-0 lead. Due to a shoulder problem, been an in-and-out day for Burt Jones. One of the out times, Greg Lantry comes in. Touchdown pass to Joe Washington. It's 17-7 in the third. Back to the vet and Dick Enberg.
Thank you, Brian. We've had our first score here. Tony Franklin hammering a 51-yard field goal, and he got it by plenty. He kicks it off to Arthur Whittington and Ira Matthews. 3-0 Eagles. 7 minutes left, third quarter. Short. Matthews at the 13, 25, and he's to the 28-yard line. Let's go back to the field goal and watch Franklin's reaction after he hit that 51-yarder.
Dick, prior to the football game, when he was out warming up, he was 5 of 8 from 55 yards in practice. And along with being an excellent kicker, he's got to have the coldest foot in the NFL from November on. There's no doubt about that.
No wonder he's single. Whoa. He is a character, as most kickers are. Now you see he'll put on that thermal boot to keep that leg warm. He says he doesn't feel cold even in the ice. Look at that. He's got it back in the heater.
Looks like a picnic basket.
Meanwhile, the Raiders trying to establish a ground game so that they can take the heat off Plunkett in the passing attack. And it's Kenny King out to about the 32, and it'll be 2nd down and 6.
But a very unimaginative offense on the Oakland Raiders' part. I wonder if they really have a genuine fear of this defense. They don't want to turn the ball over. I know that. But still, you've got gifted receivers in Chandler, a good pattern runner, Cliff Branch, an awful good receiver, and yet they run the ball like that.
Well, Plunkett is only 6 for 20, and Jaworski 7 for 21. Neither man hitting. Plunkett gets some help, and Branch drops the ball at the 40-yard line. It was drilled, but Branch will normally catch that one. Bob Chandler, they had a blanket on him on the other side.
And he did try to come back for the football, but he slipped once again. You'll see Chandler trying to get down the field. That's the one bump that's allowed. Roynell Young Now watch Chandler turn around and try to come back to the football, and you see he slips. And therefore the pass in front to Cliff Branch. Dick, I will notice also that Archell appears to be up on the line of scrimmage now when they're throwing the football. Arkeep in the first half is not here the second half, and the Eagles have not had a sack yet.
I'm sure that a long-distance phone call may have been made to Al Davis.
Pass.
He's back this time, and it is a pass. Swing incomplete to Whittington. Had no chance to catch it. And the Eagle defense is held.
These fans are used to cheering here in Philadelphia, aren't they?
They haven't had much to yell about. Buffalo has now taken a 21-10 lead against the Super Bowl champs. 34-yard run by Curtis Brown of the Bills. They're looking for a 9-3. Raymond Guy with John Shara back at the 26. 6 minutes left, third quarter. Guy. Shara at the 22. 35 and a flag is down. Derek Jensen made the tackle, and we did have a clip back at about the 25-yard line. Appeared to be Ray Phillips that just gave the push from behind. There it is, 45-yard kick, 12-yard return nullified by the clipping call. It'll pin the Eagles deep.
And all of a sudden they are right back in that hole than they were the first half. Bad field position, and this is so terribly important in a game like this where you've got two teams that are very, very even.
So Jim Tunney, the referee, spots it at the 14-yard line.
Personal foul during the run back. Clipping, number 58. First down. Time is out.
Excuse me, it was not Phillips. Well, they don't have a 58.
I think it was Phillips.
We'll keep you in doubt. Timeout, 5:54 left, third quarter. Good news here on NBC. You did get Tug McGraw, right? The skipper of the Dodgers. He's going to next season through football eyes here in Philadelphia. Norristown is home base. Here to visit his family and enjoy this game today in person. 3-0 Eagles from their own 14. Jaworski, 7 for 21, hands it off to Montgomery. And he breaks out to the 22-yard line and a gain of nearly 9. Next Saturday on NBC Sports World, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, some of America's finest gymnasts. Some of the ladies, Tracy Talavera, Marcia Frederick, Julianne McNamara, compete in the United States versus China gymnastics competition. Then some of our nation's strongest men gather, U.S. powerlifting championships, plus final round action, Legends of Bowling. Big show next Saturday right here on NBC Sports World.
Dick, I would expect that Ron Jaworski and the Philadelphia Eagles will give the ball an awful lot to Wilbur Montgomery for the rest of the game. 12 rushes now, 54 yards for Montgomery.
Second and 2. Montgomery close to a first down. While they measure, let's go to NFL 80 in New York and Brian Gumbel.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. At Rich Stadium in Buffalo, the Bills have padded their lead against the Steelers. Curtis Brown out of Missouri, finding some room around left end, reverses his field, takes it 34 yards in all, and the Bills are taking it to the Steelers, 21-10 in the third. Let's go back to Philly. Dick Enberg, Bob Trumpy.
All right, Merlin Olsen will be back with us on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Dallas and the Seahawks part of the Thanksgiving Day fair. I had to work with Bob Trumpy today, the former Cincinnati Bengals star tight end. Did not make the first down. It's 3rd and 1 for the Eagles. Yeah, they're a little mix-up. Prefley and Harris fighting for a position. And they don't get it off. Yes, they did. Just did. Bubble! At the 20, the Eagles recover, and that play had trouble written all over it right from the start.
Oh, boy, they dodged a bullet there. The Oakland Raiders have not gotten a break today. Wilbur Montgomery slow in getting up. He's very lucky to come up with this football at all. He never really got the handle on it. Wow. Oakland is still to get its first break of this game.
So Max Rudiger will kick from about his own 10. Ira Matthews waiting. He'll come up to get it. Nope. Bounces at the 45. Eagle bounce to the 40. Out of bounds after an Oakland bounce at the 42. Now the Raiders trailing by a field goal in this tight defensive struggle. 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Will put it in play in good field position. 37-yard punt by Runiger. The Eagles 3, Raiders nothing. 3.5 minutes left in the quarter.
When I was coach Bryant Gumbel in New York, at Cleveland, Brian Seif is doing a number on the Bengals. This is his 4th touchdown pass of the day, his 25th of the year. Brownies in front 28-7 while the Oilers and Steelers are losing. Dick?
Oh, could be a big day for Cleveland, Bryant, and I know you've got more updates. We'll be right back to you in New York. Here in Philadelphia, 42-yard line. The Raiders have it. Their own territory, trailing 3-0. 3.5 minutes left. Looking for his first completion of the second half. Pass. Play action pass. Deep. Chandler's open. Oh. And he missed him by plenty. And Chandler was open. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Plunkett and the Raiders. Now back to New York and another update.
Okay, Dick, it's a busy afternoon trying to keep you up to date on the scores. New England kicking off here to Baltimore. Nesby Glasgow gets hit. Ball comes loose right into the arms of Rick Sanford. Easy 17-yard touch. Pats are ahead by 20. Dick?
Thank you, Bryant, and it's one of the features we're very proud of on NBC. And Bryant did such a superb job back in the studios, bringing you up to date on all the other action around the NFL each Sunday. 2nd and 10 at the 42-yard line. Raiders trail 3-0. Plunkett chased out of the cup by Clark. He'll run it. 45, 50, 45, fumbles! And the Eagles say they've recovered. No, the signal is Oakland's ball. Well, Bob, you said the Raiders hadn't had a break, and they got a big one there.
Their first one of the football game, too.
Plunkett didn't see the man trailing him from behind, Jerry Robinson, who took it loose.
That seems to be somewhat characteristic, too. You see Clark almost free there. Somewhat characteristic of Jim Plunkett. He carries the ball very loose there. And he should tuck it in like any good running back. Or how in the world did Oakland come up with that football, Dick?
Here to be Arthur Whittington downfield, got the bounce.
Wow.
So Oakland a first down at the 42 of the Eagles. Figure he recovered the fumble. He ought to get a chance to lug the pumpkin, and he's down to the 38-yard line.
Make him a star. Make him a star.
Well, he was at SMU, and he's very proud of his Mustangs and their fine season this year. Plunkett looks at 2nd down. Call it 6. Credit Charlie Johnson with that last tackle.
Still very conservative by both offenses, trying not to make the big mistake. And field position has played such an important part in this ball game, and now Oakland has it on their side.
Less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Van Egan, good hole, and he dives to the 33-yard line. It'll be short about a yard from a first down. 95, John Bunting in on the tackle. Bunting, big baseball fan. Speaking of Tom Lasorda, Bunting is a Baltimore Orioles fan. In fact, he wears an Oriole ball cap at practice. And I asked him, are you really a big Baltimore fan? Who is your favorite? He said, well, I'll tell you how much of a fan I am. My son's name is Brooks Bunting. Will that cause some baseball announcer some problems if he does become a baseball? Yeah. Brooks Bunting is Bunting. Well, it's better than hit and run, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose also the kid should be happy his dad's favorite baseball player wasn't Boog Bunting.
Well, that's right too. 3rd and 1. Whittington can't get it. He's short. So the Raiders tried to catch the Eagles pinching inside, and even with Whittington's speed, he couldn't beat Berge and Blackmore.
Well, a big choice here for Tom Flores. Do you go for it? I think they're somewhat short. 4th down and less than a yard. Do you go for it? Do you try the field goal? Well strung out here. Look at Berge come up there through the hole. Sticks his helmet in him, and then cleaned up by the defensive lineman.
Carl Hairston. Boy, is he a hustler. Even Claude Humphrey said he's never seen a good player, and Hairston is, hustle as hard as he does. Practices, games, he's always working at the maximum. They go for it on 4th and 1. Van Egan up on a wing. Only King strangely quiet. They have a chance to explode for the defense.
You know, the Philadelphia Eagles defense against the run, too, is the second best there is in the NFL this year. Atlanta, number 1. They're allowing just 93 yards average per game. A tremendous pursuit angle by all those defensive people from the Eagles. And as I said, the first team that scores may win. It holds true so far.
And the Eagles have been the toughest team in the entire NFL to score against by far. And they're showing you why today. Seconds remaining, third quarter. Jaworski, play action, complete. Trefley, first down, Oakland 47. 17 yards. Matt Millen made the tackle. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter.
And I think that's only the second time that Jaworski has used his tight end. Them 84s can catch the football. Or is it those 84s?
I hope it's those.
All right.
That's the end of the third quarter in Philadelphia. The Eagles 3, Raiders nothing. Back after these messages from your local station.
Sunday, the inside story of the event that...
Fourth quarter, 3-0 Philadelphia. The running star of the Eagles, Wilbert Montgomery, we understand, was kicked in the head, in the helmet, and he's woozy on the sidelines. That's why Billy Campfield has been in the backfield behind Jaworski. You see Philadelphia's success in the fourth quarter. Oakland also has played very well in the fourth quarter. Eagles lead 3-0. First down. Campfield is the tailback with Harris at fullback. Campfield. He's to the Oakland 43-yard line. It'll be second down and 6. Matuzak and Hendricks, the tacklers for Oakland.
Philadelphia's got to be very conservative at this point. Once again, they're on the plus side of the field. They've got good field position. They don't want to turn the ball over here. And I think it's a factor that Wilbert Montgomery's not in the game. In there, his 4.5 or 6 yard per carry average would really help them right here.
Campfield is averaging just 2.7 a carry this year, 107 yards. The Eagles have been beaten only by St. Louis in 11 games. Here's Campfield. He's close to the first down inside the 40. Appears to be shy by a yard and bring up third down and 1. Reggie Kinlaw on the submarine tackle with Ted Hendricks there too. Well, you can imagine the fans of the Cowboys watching and cheering for Oakland, and those out on the West Coast in San Diego rooting hard for Vermeil's Eagles. Eagles have not allowed a touchdown in the last 8 quarters. You'll recall they shut out Washington 24-0 last week, and they lead 3-0 today.
And
fourth period.
Excuse me, Dick. The Oakland Raiders, too, are 26-5-1 against NFC opponents, so they're not supposed to lose to this team.
Big play, 3rd and 1. This is about where the Eagles made their stand. Campfield, is he hit by Millen, 55. The rookie from Penn State applauds himself, and well he should, as he blasted his way through, and his 260 pounds dumped Campfield for a loss at the 40.
A converted defensive lineman is Matt Millen. He was the other defensive tackle along with Bruce Clark for Joe Paterno. Clark now in Canada. Millen making the adjustment to inside linebacker.
Curtis Dickey has just scored on a 28-yard run for Baltimore to cut New England's lead at 27-14. Ira Matthews at the 10. Runniger, an apparent punt, will kick from about midfield. Aims it to the side. Good-looking kick. And it's knocked down at the 14-yard line by John Spagnuolo. So the Raiders, trailing 3-0 with 12.5 minutes left in the game, have the ball deep in their own end. First, let's go to New York and Bryant.
All right, Dick, you mentioned Curtis Dickey's touchdown. Here's a look at it. It's an end sweep. Out in front is Robert Pratt, number 61. He'll get a good block on Rick Sanford. Curtis Dickey does the rest. Dickey's over 100 yards rushing on this day, but the Colts still trail by 13. Dick?
Boy, you talk about Bryant being on the spot. We no sooner told you about Dickey, and he showed it to you. Let's break for this word.
Dick, have you...
Hey, where's my kid?
Celotex salutes the builders of America for using 400 million...
7 games ago, the quarterback was Dan Pastorini, broke a bone in the lower leg, and Jim Plunkett has replaced him. Pastorini, there was a story, a wire service story, that he was going to be in uniform today. Totally false. Pastorini was a bit angered by it all. He might be able to play with 2 games left in the year. Plunkett goes deep for Chandler. No, it's Whittington. Branch, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. A most unusual pattern. They had Chandler running deep as they did the first half, and Branch was a trailer, and they threw short to Branch, and then he used Chandler's shielding block for an 86-yard touchdown.
Obviously a motion formation and a total breakdown in the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely uncovered. And you can see Jim Plunkett is anxious to get the ball down there. Somebody made a mistake somewhere, but give credit to Plunkett. He put it right on the money.
You can see it looked as if it was going to Chandler, but it went instead to Branch. He got a block from Chandler, a key block on Wilson, and then with Branch's speed, it's all over. Hey, great coverage. Teddy Nathanson, our director, George Finkel, our producer, right on top of that one. You can see it leave Plunkett's arms right to Branch, and Oakland goes in front. Here's Barr's try for point. It's good. So after struggling throughout this game, both teams unable to move, Oakland strikes on an 86-yard play from Plunkett to Branch. Plunkett's first touchdown pass in 3 games, and back in front, the Raiders 7-3. This Thursday, 3:30 Eastern Time. We hope you'll celebrate Thanksgiving with us. NFL 80 will begin it with Brian Gumble giving you the inside look at the day's game. That'll feature the Cowboys against the Seattle Seahawks. You'll also see a feature on Seattle kicker Efren Herrera, the heritage of Thanksgiving games of the past, and also a look at the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. That's all this Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, NFL. The 86 yards is not the longest pass play in Raider history. That was a George Blanda to Warren Wells pass. Some of you old-timers will remember in 1968, 94 yards. Tom Flores threw one to Dobie Craig of 93 back, well, just after the War of 1812.
I'm going to tell him you said that, Dick.
No, please don't. So Flores has a smile on his face for the first time today as Barr kicks it off very high. It's Campfield at the 4. And he is stopped at the 17-yard line. Stopped by the backside of Jeff Barnes. It just kind of backed into him. So the Eagles struggling to finally get a 51-yard field goal in the third quarter to take a 3-0 lead. Find Tom Flores' Raiders now ahead on the bomb, and that is the Raiders style.
And it's tough being out there on the offensive huddle when it's 1st and 84 to get back on top in this football game. One mistake, that's been the real difference in the football game. The big break, Oakland didn't get it through the first 3 quarters, waited 3.5 quarters to get it, and they took advantage of it.
Branch has 2 catches, average 51, 102 yards for Branch.
Not bad.
12 minutes left, plenty of time. Jaworski throwing from Carmichael, incomplete at the 40-yard line. Burgess Owens and Dwayne Osteen on the coverage. Carmichael, while catching 2 passes to extend his NFL record to 124 consecutive games, his 2 receptions have gained a total of only 6 yards. So they've done a good job covering the big guy.
They have shut down, the Oakland Raiders have shut down the passing game of the Philadelphia Eagles almost completely.
Atlanta trying to protect its lead ahead of the Rams in the NFC West, leading 21-17. Alfred Jenkins has just got a 42-yard pass for the Falcons. And Buffalo now steamrolling the Steelers. Fourth quarter, 28-10. 2nd and 10. 4 down linemen, 5 defensive backs for the Raiders. Jaworski could be intercepted. Just missed the grasp of Mike Davis on the deflection intended for Wilbert Montgomery, who's back in the game. Good news for the Eagles.
Well, they seem to be a little disorganized right here. A good pass rush by Oakland, but he's got time. Looks off the defensive back, then in the last second You're correct. Throws it behind Wilbert Montgomery. Jaworski has not thrown the ball well at all today. 8 of 24, just 66 yards, and he is the leading, going into this game, the leading quarterback in the NFL.
That's a good point, Bob Trumpy. Leading with a 59.5% completion average, 23 touchdowns, second to Fouts, only 9 interceptions. He's hit only a third of his passes today. 3rd and 10. Through a key block in the screen. Number 50, the center of the Eagles, a 26-yard play.
And I think you can notice that Leroy Harris was dragging his leg. He has had trouble with his hamstring all season long. And finally, the Eagles find a way to dent that Oakland Raider defense with a little screen out to the flat. Well set up by Jaworski, too.
11:54 left in the fourth quarter. 7-3. Philadelphia trails Oakland. First down at their 43. Jaworski back to the air. Down the middle. Complete. First down at the Oakland 45. Keith Prefley.
Great pattern run by Prefley. 12 yards on the reception. He's to the right of your screen, and he goes up to Matt Millen and bounces off of him, and Jaworski rifles it in there. Excellent catch by Prefley. You see Stan Walters on Browning and the new pass blocking rule, the ability to use the hand. Jaworski has a very, very strong arm, and he rifled that one in there, Dick.
That was not by the hair of my chin block by Walters. Jaworski first down at the Raider 45. Here's Montgomery. Right into the arms of Reggie Kinlaw and Matt Millen. Update at New England. 10-yard pass to Carlos Pennywell, and New England has now outscored Baltimore 33-14. Patriots looking for their 8th win against only 4 losses. A defeat to Baltimore would make them 6-6 and just about goodbye in 1980 for the Colts hopes.
Take that Patriot team. That's somewhat of a schizophrenic football team. Well, when they're hot, they're unbelievable. When they're bad, they're awful.
2nd and 7. Mistake. The Eagles, 88, John Spagnola. Said he learned that play when he studied under Howard Cosell at Yale. He took one of his classes from Howard.
He learned that, jumping off sides?
No, I'm only teasing. I wish I hadn't said that, matter of fact. Spagnola did indeed, though. He said journalism.
False start, number 88 offense, still 2nd down.
John, New England Patriot draftee in the 9th round, and has come here and made a solid contribution to the Eagles last year.
He's a big kid, too, 6'4", 240. And Dick Vermeil drives this football team to try to avoid mistakes like that. They're on the field an awful lot of time during the week, and that's what he's trying to avoid, a mistake like Spagnola just made.
2nd and 13. Montgomery on a wing. Jaworski looking for him, finds him at the 40. He gets to the 35 and close to a first down. Randy McClanahan made the tackle. They cleared out with Smith, and then curling underneath was Montgomery.
12 yards on the reception, and a good play by Philadelphia in between Lester Hayes on the outside and Ted Hendricks on the inside. Just enough for a first down. Or no, excuse me, just short of a first down.
3rd and 1 under the 10-minute mark in Philadelphia. 2 first-place teams. 2 teams with sparkling winning skeins. 6 in a row for the Raiders. 7 straight wins for Philadelphia. And they played tough to their records. This is Harris. First down. And he's all the way to the 26-yard line. Burgess Owens and Osteen saved the touchdown.
Great block by Wilbert Montgomery out in front. Took on the linebacker. And Harris, even with that bad leg, he able to get up there. Look at the guys up front. You got Perot at left guard, Walters at left tackle, and you can just see the back end of Wilbert Montgomery on 35. Osteen, was not the linebacker. First down. Is this not the longest time that Philadelphia's had the football today, Dick?
This has been their best drive. since the touchdown that startled this crowd. 84 yards, 86 yards, Plunkett to Branch. This is their 8th play on this drive. Jaworski going deep. Incomplete. Dwayne Osteen knocked it away from Carmichael. Osteen, 35, in his first start as a Raider, playing the corner for Monty Jackson.
And done an excellent job. He's been tested several times today. And you have Carmichael at 6'8" against Osteen, who is 6'1", and he does a great job to avoid the touchdown reception.
Meanwhile, at Shea Stadium, the Houston Oilers have finally scored. Mike Barber on a touchdown pass of 6 yards. 13 minutes left in that game. The Jets with a handle on a big upset. 21-7 lead. Second and 10, Eagles. Oakland in front, 7-3. 8:50 left in this game. Hardman is back in, and so is Willie Jones. Here they come. Over the middle, complete. Oh, Spagnola. Here comes Mike Davis for Oakland. 20, 30, out of bounds, right in front of the Eagle bench, as Spagnola hit hard, and the ball popped free, and the Raiders have the turnover.
And the first half, the Oakland Raiders could not get a break. That was a little delay pattern by Spagnola over the middle. When he turned around and headed upfield, the defensive back was standing right in his face. I think you'll see 88 delay, yes, out of the backfield. We're at the line of scrimmage. Now watch this hit by Rod Martin, and the ball picked up, and Oakland has dodged a bullet.
Davis acting as though he wanted to give it right back the way he carried the ball. Well, you can appreciate as a tight end, you catch that ball and you turn upfield and whack.
They're waiting for you.
Turnovers have evened out at 2 apiece. 7-3. Ron Jaworski's Eagles are down, and Oakland has the ball. And it's 31. Both wide receivers to the right. Whittington gets a yard or two. 2nd down and 8. Now let's go back to NFL 80 in New York, and Bryant Gumbel.
Okay, Dick, down by 3 touchdowns at Shea. The Oilers have finally gotten on the board. Kenny Stabler throws a touchdown pass of 6 yards to Mike Barber, but the Oilers are down by 14 in the 4th. Dick?
All right, Bryant. And here the AFC Raiders lead the NFC Eagles 7-3. You see the clock ticking away toward the 8-minute mark. 2nd down, call it 8. Meanwhile, Cleveland is destroying Cincinnati 31-7 in the 4th quarter. Browns trying to make hay while Pittsburgh and Houston are losing. Whittington, nothing there. Boy, the Eagles have really been tough on the sweeps. Carl Hairston, 78. 68, Dennis Harrison. 71, Ken Clark.
I'll tell you, the guy that stuffed the play, though, was Jerry Robinson, number 56. He took on that blocker right in front of him. Raymond Chester, I think, is going to hit him. Watch Jerry Robinson knock him right back in his tracks. And that takes out Mark Van Eegen, and they're all there to make the tackle.
Randy Logan, 41, there as well. The ex-Michigan Wolverine, a happy man knowing that his alma mater is going to Pasadena. Well, that would be a great defensive backfield. When Logan was at Michigan, Tom Darden played in the same defensive backfield. The record has been in the favor of the AFC, as you saw this season as last. Deflected, incomplete by Dennis Bigfoot Harrison. Bigfoot had a big hand in the way of that one.
6'8", 280 pounds, working on Henry Lawrence. And he realizes the guy gets by him and just gets his hand up in the air. I repeat, last week against the Washington Redskins, his defensive line deflected 8 passes from Joe Theismann.
The joy of the big man. I love it. I like the way the athletes of today show their emotions. Raymond Guy to John Shara. Shara at the 26. Line of scrimmage for the Eagles. But they have a return on very high. Shara doesn't call for the fair catch. Oh, does he pay the price? 56 Jeff Barnes downfield to eat up Shara, two former opponents on the West Coast. Barnes at Cal and Shara at UCLA. 39-yard kick. Watch the reaction as we go to commercial. Guys kick. Shara, no fair catch. It's first down at the Philadelphia 29. Time remaining, fourth quarter, 6:52.
Well, this is the point in the season where Dick Vermeil wants his football team 10-1, playing a good football team. Now he's going to find out what kind of character his team has. This drive may determine the season for this team.
Ron Jaworski has had a brilliant season, but an ordinary game.
Two plays in this football game, Dick, we've seen superb defense. This play is made possible by the agility of Jaworski, and then full trajectory to Harris. Wow, two big plays in a football game, and that's it.
And that one can turn the momentum to the Eagles. They're flapping their wings down at the 28-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. 7-3. Oakland's lead now in jeopardy as Carmichael goes right and Smith is split left. Montgomery. All the way to the 19-yard line. A 10-yard blast by Wilbert Montgomery. Safety man Mike Davis made the tackle.
Isn't it strange how momentum changes so quickly, Dick? Just a great play by Jaworski, and all of a sudden, the other 10 players on the football team rise to the occasion. Great blocking up front. Montgomery carrying the ball with good protection around it.
They spotted at the 19, a 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1. Jaworski usually goes to play action, 2nd and short. Not this time. Montgomery, first down at the 15. John Matuzak, Reggie Kinlaw in the center of the defense for the Raiders. They'll spot it at the 16. First down for Philadelphia. The Eagles trying to follow that pattern of outscoring their opponents in the fourth quarter.
Dick, the Eagles bring in a second tight end. I think they're going to try to run it right down Oakland's throat here for the final 16 yards and a score. Protect the football. If you're a leader, the quarterback, you just say, gentlemen, this is where you blow your neck. Right here, we got it on the line.
7-3. Oakland leading Philadelphia. 5:20 left in the fourth quarter. Montgomery. Oh my, what a surge by Matt Millen, Randy McClanahan. And also in on the play was Dave Browning. I've never seen Browning play a better game defensively.
Great play. Well diagnosed. And Montgomery has no place to go. None. Ooh, that's a cruncher. If he had cobwebs before, he's going to have them again.
There are the signals by Lynn Stiles in the yellow jacket. Dick Vermeil, the head coach. The ball is at the 18-yard line. Millen, Kinlaw, McClanahan go out for Oakland as they bring in those two pass rushers, Hardman and Jones, along with an extra defensive back, McKinney. 2nd and 11.
Blitz, Hendricks.
Carmichael sandwiched by Osteen and Burgess Owens, and the ex-Jet Owens continues to play a solid back line at safety. The ball was there. That's just a good defensive hit.
And well called, too, by the Oakland Raider defensive coaches. They had a blitz up front. Good coverage by Osteen. Owens there to make sure. And this has got to be, even though it's third down, this has got to be 2-down distance. I think they have to go for it on fourth down, wouldn't you, Dick? 4:22 left.
Yeah, that's so critical, Bob, that The Eagles are going to take a timeout. Jaworski wants to make sure his head's in the same huddle with his offensive masterminds along the near sidelines.
I like to play coach. I'm not very successful at it, but one of the plays that the Eagles have used with pretty good success so far today has been that tight end screen. And it's kind of tough to do in a 4-2-5 configuration defense in front of you, but I think it's something to think about. It's a high percentage completion, and they may come with something like that.
Well, more football coming for you on Thanksgiving Thursday. We hope you'll sit down and add us to your Turkey Day holiday. 3:30 Eastern Time it all begins, and then you'll see the always fun to watch Seattle Seahawks, the most unpredictable team in the National Football League, against the Dallas Cowboys. And of course the Cowboys, great interest focused on this game as they're currently 2 full games behind these Philadelphia Eagles at 10-1 and 8-3. Thursday, 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 in the West for Dallas and Seattle.
Dick, I'm going to be down there in Dallas with you, and I guess it's my responsibility to carve the turkey.
All right. I didn't know you were going to be with us.
Yes.
That's great.
So treat me nice, and I'll give you a big slice of turkey.
The big guy will be nice to you, too. 4:22 left in this game. Jaworski back to the huddle. Used his first time out of the second half. Raiders 4-2-5 defense. 3rd and 11. Those of you who have been watching Buffalo and Pittsburgh, we're in the final minutes at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Ron Jaworski, this is his 3rd down 11 pass to the big tall end Harold Carmichael.
And look at him come back with a football, Dick. That's the best thing a receiver can do in that situation, and they've got the first down.
First and goal. To bring you up to date, these two teams, both in first place, both on winning streaks, were tied at halftime. No score. Tony Franklin kicked a 51-yard field goal to give the Eagles a 3-0 lead into the 3rd quarter. A Jim Plunkett to Cliff Branch bomb of 86 yards put Oakland in front here in the 4th quarter, 7-3. And since that time, the Eagles have come marching back and have it first and goal at the 7-yard line with 3 minutes 55 seconds left. Closing the door, Rod Martin, 53 of the Oakland Raiders.
Dick, that's the first trap that the Eagles have run all day long. You'll see the center 50, Guy Morris, block back. You'll see the left guard pull, Petey Perot. And Montgomery tries to get up through there, but a jarring hit by Rod Martin. And that's the way this game has been played. You've missed a lot of it, you people that just joined it, but it's been terrific defense from the first kickoff.
Well, you saw the helmet of Montgomery almost flew right off his head with that tackle. In this second half, after being kicked in the helmet, comes back to give the Eagles the lead.
And Dickey takes a tremendous chance here going outside, but you can see he just outruns Owens. Millen makes a dive for him, but that's been their longest possession of the game, and it results in what might be the winning touchdown. Robert Montgomery and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Montgomery's 5th touchdown of the year has given the Eagles the lead. Franklin's try for point is good. Court with a timeout, 2 minutes 56 seconds left. The Eagles have just marched 71 yards in 9 plays and take the lead 10-7.
A bright red fire truck, a blue Calliope, a yellow moon, a pink balloon, a golden Dixie Jamboree. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's true colors, vivid and lifelike. And with GE Special VIR2 circuit, the color is automatic.
For those of you who joined us watching the Pittsburgh-Buffalo game, we understand Buffalo is running out the clock in the fourth quarter. The Bills apparently the winners, 28-13. Meanwhile, you've just seen the go-ahead touchdown by the Eagles, and now Tony Franklin, with less than 3 minutes left, kicks it off to Arthur Whittington. 20, 25, 30. He's all the way to the 39-yard line. Whittington, who returned 90 yards for a touchdown against the Bengals and came very close to sprinting free on that effort. He was stopped by Al Chesley, 59. So plenty of time for the Raiders as Jim Plunkett will try to get them at least into field goal range. All the scores and highlights coming up on NFL Report.
Boy, Dick, this is a great football game. We've seen defense at its best today on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It's come down to 2 plays. A 46-yard pass to Leroy Harris by Philadelphia and an 86-yard touchdown by Cliff Branch.
Plunkett will throw on first down. Robinson gets him. No pass. That's a sack. They blew it dead. Robinson had Plunkett in his grasp. The 7th sack for the Eagles today.
And we gave credit to the Oakland Raider defensive coaches earlier. Let's now give credit to the Eagles defensive coaches. I believe that's the first linebacker blitz we have seen today by the Eagles, and it gets to Plunkett.
Boy, Robinson overpowering the blocker to get to Plunkett. He just would not be denied. He's played another outstanding game. Clock is running, 2:34 left. Should the Raiders get in field goal range, the pressure will be on that man, number 10, Chris Barr. Second, and about 19. Branch complete at the 41, secured on the tackle by 27, Richard Blackmore. 2:11, 2:10. The Raiders seem in no hurry. Apparently, we'll just wait for that 2-minute timeout.
I think they'll give him those receptions all the way down the field, Dick. Watch the pressure. In the first half, the Eagles had 6 sacks on the Oakland Raiders. That's their first of the second half. That one earlier by Jerry Robinson.
Branch's catch leaves the Raiders at 3rd and 9, and we'll be right back. 2 minutes left.
Has the pump got you down?
Bryant Gumbel in New York at Shea Stadium. The Oilers, once down 21-0, are now within a touchdown. Snake Stabler finding Billy White Shoes Johnson from 6 yards out, and suddenly the Oilers are only a touchdown down. There's still time to play. Let's go back to the vet and Dick Enberg.
Boy, every Sunday is like a holiday, isn't it? For the football fan, an exciting game there. Chris Barr has not been able to hit the long-range field goal, but his reputation has been better than those statistics. Let's duck in a final. Detroit Lions down 10-0 at Tampa Bay, rallied to beat the Buccaneers. That's a final. Detroit 24, Tampa Bay 10. A big win for Detroit. They're now 7-5 in that Central Division. The loss all but eliminates the Buccaneers. It's 3rd and 9 for Oakland with 2 minutes left. The Raiders have the ball at their own 40-yard line. Chandler to the right, working on the rookie Young, and slotted right is Cliff Branch. Plunkett to Branch, out of bounds, and a first down at the 48-yard line of Philadelphia. Richard Blackmore made the tackle, and they went after Young again.
You cannot count this Oakland Raider team out. They have a great deal of experience out there on that football team, with Bob Chandler at one receiver, Plunkett at the quarterback, with Cliff Branch at the other receiver, and a good offensive line. This is going to come right down to the wire, Dick.
Bob, you're right. With Chester in there, too. Between Branch and Chester and Chandler, they have 142 touchdowns, just those 3 men. Return in a new uniform and go right back to sacking the quarterback.
Amazing. He has come around Henry Lawrence all day long. Good pressure up front. And Plunkett doesn't even see him. Has no idea he's coming. 13 years he's played. And to repeat, Bud Humphrey told me before the game, he's never had more fun playing football in the last 2 years with the Philadelphia Eagles.
New England has defeated the Colts 47-21. Buffalo also winning, so they remain a game apart. Here it's second down and long for Plunkett. He goes down the middle, almost intercepted by Young. It was intended for Bob Chandler, and Young had the better position.
And he's been picked on all day long. The Philadelphia Eagles have tried Osteen, and the Raiders have tried Roynell Young, and they've both had great football games. It comes down to this play in fourth down, Dick. Oh, this is great football. Two teams won 10-1, 8-3, a 6-game winning streak, a 7-game winning streak. This is the way it should be played. Not a lot of penalties, just breaks here and there.
The Raiders, should they lose, would drop into a first-place tie with the Chargers. The Eagles, with a win, would stay 2 in front of Dallas. Derek Jensen is in the backfield for Oakland. He's in there to block Plunkett. Young, great coverage on Chandler, and now it's down to one play for Oakland, fourth down and 20.
Both of these teams have been prepared beautifully, absolutely beautifully. It comes down to 1 minute and 12 seconds, 3 points difference. And Jim Plunkett, who has been magical since he took over 6 games ago for the Oakland Raiders, is going to have one last shot at it. It is fourth down and what, about 19 yards to go?
No, it's more than that. It's closer to 21 than 19. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is Channel 4, KRON-TV, San Francisco.
On fourth down and 21. Plunkett to Brandt, incomplete. And it appears the Eagles have won their 8th in a row. This is their best start since back in the late 1940s in the Steve Van Buren era when they won the NFL championship. They're about to go 11-1, and their defense, true to form, has been very tough.
And a tremendous psychological lift for this football team. They have been accused of getting to 10-1 by playing very mediocre opponents. To this point, up to this game, their opponents had records of 37 and 62. There are a lot of people around the country saying, yeah, they're 10-1, but they haven't played anybody. They've certainly proven otherwise today.
Excuse me, Bob, I wanted to point out that score. 28-13, Buffalo beats Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's lost. Houston is losing, but trying to rally. Boy, that really sets up a big game on NBC next Sunday. Right into the line. And the Raiders will use one of their timeouts here to stop the clock at 58 seconds. That's a 4 o'clock Eastern time a week from today. Cleveland at Houston.
And Cleveland won today, or was winning today.
Oh, will that be a game? So the ball at the 40-yard line. The Raiders do have 2 more timeouts left. It's conceivable they'll get a chance at a final desperation pass or 2. Most of the fans upstairs don't think so as the seats begin to empty. 68,535, a sellout today. There were a few thousand no-shows. Folks seem to be content that Philadelphia has this one in the bank.
Dick, we set this game up as the tale of 2 quarterbacks. Have you ever seen a better defensive game in the last 3 or 4 years?
It's the kind of play that you see in the extra innings, the overtime,
right,
the playoffs, onto the Super Bowl. Another update. Oh my! Look at that. Houston down 21-0, and I believe in the fourth quarter they were down 21-0. The Oilers have scored 3 touchdowns to tie the Jets. Houston, what? Bum Phillips, he might have worn out a couple of those elephant ear cowboy boots today. I want to thank our spotters, Bill Friel and Paul Giordano. A fine job. Joe Costanza, statistician. Downstairs, Ted Nathanson and George Finkel calling the shots. Second down play. Montgomery, middle of the line, wrapped up shy of the 35-yard line by Reggie Kinlaw. By winning today, the Eagles would guarantee a playoff spot at the very worst. Even if they lost all the rest of their games, would be a wild card team as they have been the last 2 years. And we talked about their steady progression. 2 years ago, they were beaten in the first round. Last year, they won the wild card spot, beating the Bears, and then they lost to Tampa Bay 24-17. Now, here's the Central Division as of the moment. Cleveland has won. Houston was losing. But boy, you talk about don't count your money too soon. The Oilers haven't given up, and in fact, they're at least in a tie now. Pittsburgh has lost. Cincinnati lost to Cleveland. The Steeler defeat would only hurt seriously should Houston win, because they'd still be in. But if Houston wins, then the Steelers really are in deep trouble.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dick, does it not mean that if the Oilers win and Pittsburgh loses, that for the first time in a long time, we're not going to have the Steelers in the playoffs? I think that's true because of the winning records of the teams in the AFC West.
Tough to get a wild card for the Steelers. Meanwhile, 3rd and 4, a first down would wrap it up for the Eagles. Raiders have only one timeout left. Montgomery tripped up. Mike Davis blitzed through and tripped him up short of the first down. The last timeout exercised by Oakland, and 47 seconds remain. Of course, the clock will stop on change of possession, so Oakland will have a desperation shot at trying to get into field goal position.
Gee, I'm not so sure I wouldn't just run this ball, Dick. Instead of punting it, there's Ted Hendricks has blocked 20 kicks, both field goals and punts, through his illustrious career. It's not without mentioning that anything can happen in this football game. Why wouldn't you just run the ball, take your chances? Your defense has been terrific all day long.
Well, Runninger's in punt formation. Ira Matthews back at the 10. The Raiders, some confusion defensively. Finally, Willie Jones goes off the field. We'll see if they go after the kick.
Looks like they're getting all their big guns in there. Reggie Kinlaw, Hendricks is in there. They're definitely going after him.
This is his 9th kick of the day. 10-7, Philadelphia leading. 47 seconds remaining. Hendricks lining up on the right side. They overload the defensive right side. Here they come. He gets it away neatly, and it's a good kick. Takes the Raider bounce, and Oakland will be 80 yards away on the touchback. 38 seconds left, and the Raiders do not have a timeout. Well, a scoreless first half. A 51-yard field goal is now the difference in the game. Franklin hitting from 51. Remember, Chris Barr missed on a 45-yard attempt back in the first quarter. And in the fourth period, electrifying bomb from Plunkett to Branch of 86 yards gave the Raiders a 7-3 lead, only to see the Eagles drive 71 yards in 9 plays. And Wilbert Montgomery scoring on a sweep left from 3 yards out to give Philly the lead 10-7. Plunkett will have to use the sidelines. If his man is tackled inbounds, he has no way to stop the clock. Incomplete. Derek Ramsey, well covered by Berge. Robinson was there too. And had he caught the ball, he'd have been tackled inbounds. I don't think the way Berge had him shielded from the sidelines, he was thinking, I'm going to keep you inbounds. Go ahead and catch it.
Philadelphia has done a great job defensively, stopping the passing game, with the exception of that one play to Cliff Branch for 86 yards. And I do think that was just a mental mistake by one of the defensive backs of the Eagles. They have played a super football game.
We understand the New York Jets have just scored on a 45-yard run to take the lead against the Oilers. We'll have highlights on our post-game show, so stay right here on NBC. We'll be going there live. Plunkett to Branch, incomplete at the 33. It's 3rd and 10 on the clock. The enemy of the Raiders. 26 seconds left. 28-21 the Jets, after seeing the Oilers score 3 touchdowns to tie them. Ten to 7 Philadelphia. 26 seconds left. the Raiders in a near impossible situation. They need a miracle play. Plunkett, boy, that's a testimony to the tough pass defense of the Eagles. Raiders play a Monday night game next week at home against Denver. Plunkett, complete to Jensen, and he gets as much as he can before stepping out of bounds at the 38 with a first down. Not a bad call.
Not a bad call. You mentioned who they play next week. They play last Monday night, Sunday in travel, then go back home and play on Monday night. That is a tough schedule for the Oakland Raiders.
And if they lose today, they make it tougher on themselves, because Denver then figures they still have a chance in this race. There's the rest of the Raiders' schedule, and they have some tough spots, some chuck holes to hit too before this season is over.
And they play the Denver Broncos twice before this season is out.
18 seconds, all that Plunkett has to work with. He would just like to get within field goal range. That would be to about the Philadelphia 40 or inside. Down the sidelines. Incomplete. Bradshaw was out of bounds anyway, so even had he come back in and caught it, that would have been only a penalty. So Plunkett now has only 11 seconds. This is really it. He has to make a big gainer on this play to get within field goal range and have time to get the field goal team out.
Gee, I don't know what kind of play that is. That's when you want the coaches on the sideline, the guys with the headsets and the films and everything else, and all the game plans in front of you to call the play. I can't imagine what it would be unless throw it down the middle and hope for interference, and the clock stops. That's the only way they're going to get a field goal in here.
To kick a 48-yard field goal, the line of scrimmage has to be about the 30 or 31. So it's a long way for Plunkett at his own 37. Here comes Humphrey. Up in the air. Incomplete. At the 13-yard line with 3 seconds left. They're hoping for a lucky bounce or an interference. They get neither, and now it's down to the final play.
Where is R.C. Owens when you need him, Dick?
That was designed. Reflective of those days when Owens would catch that alley-ooper, 49ers. But it's been victory and defeat, a marvelous demonstration of defense on both sides. The Raiders and Eagles indicating their high-quality playoff aspirants, and the Eagles at home apparently have won it by 3.
Worth repeating, too, that the Eagles are now 11-1 with only one 300-yard passing performance by Ron Jaworski and one 100-yard rushing performance by Wilbert Montgomery. They've won with defense.
4th down. Up for grabs, looking for a deflection. Almost got it, but Jerry Robinson picks it off for the Eagles, and Philadelphia has won. So the Eagles have won 8 in a row as they defeat the Oakland Raiders 10-7. The Raiders' victory string is snapped at 6.
That's a fitting climax, too, Dick. As good a game as Jerry Robinson played all day, that he should end up with the interception that finally stops the Oakland Raiders' 6-game winning streak.
So Philadelphia 11-1, leading the Cowboys by 2 in a 2-team race in the Eastern Division race. Meanwhile, we understand that the Jets-Oilers game is not finished yet. We'll be going live there to you. So stay right here on NBC. Had a wild one as the Jets had a 21-0 lead, and the Oilers came back to tie with 3 touchdowns, only to find the Jets going ahead on a late 4th quarter touchdown. And we're going to be switching to Shea Stadium shortly. Dick Enberg, Bob Trumpy in Philadelphia. We hope you've enjoyed this one. The Eagles defense is enough to win it. Philadelphia 10, the Raiders 7. Now to New York.